Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gauda Padam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam cha hastamalakam cha shishyam tam todakam vartika karamanyan asmadgurun santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutravashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padam Bhujanmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Graseika Karmane. In this chapter, Chitradeepa. Is it? Yes or no? I hope you're all remembering that, okay? Having established the nature of Kutastha, now the arguments of understanding about, not argument, understanding about what is or who is Jiva and what is or who is Ishvara. Jivasya Tattvajnanam tada Ishvarasya cha. Kutastha eva Jivaha. Kutastha na Jivaha. Kutastha Chaitanyam. Jiva Rupena Tishtati Asmin Dehe. Aham iti Vritya Tishtati. In the form of Aham Vritti. And therefore, the understanding of oneself, which constantly takes place at various levels, at the level of the body, senses, mind, etc. Now, Panchakosha Viveka is being done. Even though we have seen in many other Prakarana Granthas like Vivek Chodamani, etc., how do the Panchakosha Viveka to be done? Aham na dehaha, annamaya koshaha, aham na pranamaya, aham na manomaya, vijnanamaya, anandamaya, ityadi. But here, Vidyaranya brings a new dimension of understanding Atman as different from the Panchakoshas in two ways. As an argument by a Purvapakshi saying that I am the body only. And he gives reason and Shruti Praman. Unlike just a mere logical reasoning, both Hetu or Yukti and Shruti Praman. And so the next person who wants to refute it must refute at two levels. He has to show the hetu or yukti by which he has to refute, as well as quote the Shruti to show that he is wrong. Both ways. So here we have seen in verse number 61, materialist view is what? Deha eva atma. Body is the self. Shroti kartum svapaksham te kosha annamayam tada virochanasya siddhantam pramanam pradichagnire. Virochana also had learned from Prajapati, and he had come to this conclusion that Annamayaha Atma. That is the Virochana Prakriti. We are all Virochana Prakriti only. Those who are materialists are all belonging to Virochana's clan. So, but at the same time, that is refuted by this simple argument that Jivatmanaha Mani Game. Jivatmani Game, when the body is left behind by the life, by the soul, Deha Maranasya Atra Darshanat. Deham, body perishing, is very clearly seen. If Atman is body only, it should remain forever. But obviously something had left behind other than the body, because of which body is seen to be perishing and dying. Deha adiriktaha eva atma. Therefore, hetu, the yukti that is used by those who are arguing deha na atma, they say there is something that is gone away from the body, and therefore the body has been left behind. Then therefore that body which you think Atma cannot be. Iti ahuhu loka ayataha pare. Others who are loka ayata. They are also materialists only, but they give a different reasoning for that. Then if dehana atma, if body is not the self, then who else? Now they say indriya atma. Sense organs are the Atman. So we read the verse number 63. Pratyakshvena bimataham didehadirekinam gamayedindriyatmanam vachmityadi prayogataha Pratyakshatvena bimata aham dehadirekinam ekinam gamayedindriyatmanam vachmityadi prayogataha. Now, when we understand the prose order properly, as you know, in the poetic form, it is given according to the meter. When we take it into prose order, it has to be understood in the correct grammar form. Vachmi idi prayogat ityadi prayogataha. Prayogataha panchami. Vachmi, which means what? I speak. Aham vachmi. Aham pashyami. Aham shrunomi. Aham kadami. Aham gacchami. So I am going, I eat, I see, I hear, I taste, I smell, I touch, I think. Let us forget about thinking right now. But all the sense organs, vachmi ityadi prayogat, prayogat usage, which we all know. What is that? Pratyakshatvena. So explain. Very clearly, evidently, knowingly, visibly. Pratyakshvena abhimata ahamdi. There is an idea of I. Whenever you say I am talking, I am seeing, this I, ahandi, is where? in seeing, in the eyes. I am talking, then obviously aham is associated with speech. I am listening, aham is associated with speech or ears. So the seeing, hearing, etc., when it is taking place, which is very evidently all of us use as saying, I am seeing, I am hearing. This I am associated only with the sense organs, specific sense organs. Therefore, aham the deha adirekinam, which is different from the physical body. Here, when you understand, it is not the physical eyes we are talking about. Physical eyes belong to body. But seeing is not because of the physical eye. Even though it is used, ahandi or the eye associated with the ability to see, ability to hear, ability to smell, etc. So, dehadirekinam, for those who are, which are different from that of the body, gamayet. Gamayet, that comes to establish or is seen. Gamayet. Therefore, indriya atmanam. Indriya eva atmanam. Therefore, the sense organs are considered to be the atman. For example, if somebody says, I'm seeing, hearing, I'm not seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, walking, he's as good as dead. If somebody is in the state of coma, what does it mean? Body is there, but he's as good as dead. Why? Because he's not responding to the world. It's so hot here, my God. Unbelievably hot. Can you put on the fan somewhere? No, but somebody has put it in what a heat, I do not know. 74, 75, it keeps increasing only there. It's switched off, but it's still no switched off. No, don't do that. Just put the fan. Reduce it. Okay. I'm just sweating like nobody in this heat also. So, in all these things, aham di dehadirekinam gamayet indriyatmanam. So, indriya is the atman because only through these sense organs one seems to be alive, doing things. So, in the absence of all that, one seems to be not as good as it is as good as dead. So, sense organs are the atman. Now, here it is hetu. Hetu means yukti. Logic is used. Now, he had to quote Shruti also. Then only it is correct. He has eliminated the previous person's argument that it is the body, not the body, senses. So, having proved it through the yukti, now he has to prove it through the Shruti. Vagadinam indriyanam Kalaha shrutishu shrutaha Tasmat tena chaitanyam Tena chaitanyam Atmatvam tata evahi Vagadinam indriyanam kalaha shrutishu shrutaha Tena chaitanyam atmatvam tata evahi. In the Upanishads, especially in Brihadaranya Upanishad, there is a statement that is given. I have just brought it here. Ya eshokshini purusho drishyate esha atmeti hovacha etad amritam abhayam etad brahmeti adacha yoyam bhagavaha apsu parirupaya parikyayade yaschartam adeshaha katama esha iti esha sarveshu eteshu sarveshu anyeshu parikyayate iti hovacha. Here, the sense organs once had a discussion. Not discussion, actually fight. Kalaha. Kalaha means fight. Which word? Who is superior? I say, I am superior because without me seeing, where do you go? So Nose said, I am superior. Each one of them started to say. So, in the Shruti, we also see that the sense organs are all having different arguments. Now, he quotes this. They all had kalaha. Shrutishu shrutaha. But what does it prove? It is this. Jadam na kalaham karoti. Two chairs, have you seen them fighting at each other? Huh? Two tables? No. So, very fact that Shruti says that sense organs started to argue among themselves about who is great only shows they are Chaitanyam. See how this person takes only a portion of it to show, they won't go further details. What further happened is different thing. That the next fellow will show. Now here he says, the very fact that sense organs have started to fight with each other only shows they are Chaitanya. Because Jadavastu cannot fight with anything else. Neither it will fight with another Chetanam nor another Jada. So, therefore, tena tasmat, etesham Chaitanyam, atmatvam, tataevahi. Therefore, it is proven that they are conscious. They are self-knowing. They are independent. What is Chaitanyam? Chaitanyam is that which engages or acts itself, knows its own being. So, if these sense organs have been said to be fighting, it is stated in the Bhagavad Upanishad, it is only to show that sense organs are living beings. They are having Chaitanyatva. Therefore, tena Chaitanyam etesham. Therefore, Atmatvam tata eva. Tata means tasmat. Tasmat Atmatvam eva hi tesham. Therefore, there is Atman, self-consciousness is there among all of them. This is the Shruti Pramana. Yukti is said before, earlier verse, and now the Shruti is also quoted. What about what? Vagadinam, meaning Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Karmendriyanam, all of them. Shrutishu, Shrutaha, Kalaha. Among them there is fight. Now the next fellow who comes and say, you are saying sense organs have started to fight, right? And that is the Shruti you quoted. Also you said that when a person says, I am seeing, I am talking, etc., that ahanti, the associated with the sense organs. So that's what you quoted. All right. Now I will give you a reason, first of all, to prove you wrong. How? Hairanya Garbha Pranatma Vadinastveva Muchire Chakshuraadyaksha Lopepi Pranasatve tu Jivati Hairanya Garbha Pranatma Vadinastveva Muchire Chakshuraadyaksha Lopepi Pranasatve tu Jivati. Hairanya Garbhaha meaning Hiranya Garbha Vadinaha. Hiranya Garbha here to be understood as prana. Prana Atma Vadinaha. Hiranya Garbhaha Prana Atmatva Vadinaha. Those who are arguing that not the sense organs are the Atman, it is Prana. Quoting the same Shruti, he will explain why it is so. Prana Atmatvadinaha tu evam uchire. Evam in this way, uchire means vadanti. They say, what? Now you see, when you are sleeping, all the sense organs are shut. You're not seeing, you're not hearing, smelling, touching, walking, talking, grabbing, excreting, nothing, reproduction, everything is down. Are you dead or alive? So, chakshuradi aksha lope api. Lopa means declension, decline, a state of reduced state. Lopa means dissolution, you would say, or diminishing. When they all are, when senses are inoperative, dysfunctional. Lopa means actually, you can say, yeah, it is not in full measure functioning, inoperative, in a dissolved state, in a merged state. So when in the state of all the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, etc., all of them are in an inoperative, dysfunctional state, chakshuradi akshalope api pranasatve tu jivati. When the prana is there, still the person is alive. Anesthesia. You know, when I was going from here to India, I had 2 flights, one from here to Qatar, Qatar to Chennai. So the flight attendant came. I just asked, what's your name? Anesthesia. I said, what a name. It's a Russian name. Anesthesia means what? Putting you to sleep. I said, please give me food, don't put me to sleep. Okay, so she finished. Next leg from Doha to Chennai, another attendant was there, another flight, right? What's your name? Anesthesia. I was really shocked. Again? I said, what do you mean by again? Again, the same name. I think they give a mock name only. They're not in a real name. Just because for the transactional purpose. So anesthesia. Anesthesia means what? Anasti iti shayanam. There you have no knowledge about your own being. So when a person is put into anesthesia, where he can't do any of the functions, do you mean to say he is dead? So, prana sattve, when the prana is present, jivati. So even if the sense organs are all totally dysfunctional, still the person is alive. So what makes the person alive then? Yukti is prana. Now, there is an elaborate explanation on this, as you see in the note that is given there in this book. So, very fact when you say, my eyes, my ears, this my is different from what you are referring to as mine. My eyes means I am not the eye. My body, when you say, my car, my phone, what do you mean by that? This phone belongs to me, right? This body belongs to me. So, it belongs to whom? Somebody different. So, sense organs are not Atman. Sense organ belong to something else. So, therefore, Yukti is, first Yukti is, very fact that you do not say, the eyes are seeing, my eyes are seeing, it is to say that you are not the eyes. So, who is the eye? Who is you? Other than the eye. So, Indriyani na Atma. That's what he is trying to prove. This is one thing. Second, he says, if you say senses by themselves are conscious, which sense? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, which one? If you say eyes are conscious, so if eyes are not there, you're unconscious. So if you say one of them is conscious, that is wrong. Okay, no. Collectively they are conscious. The second argument is what? They are collectively conscious. Then if one of them are removed, to that extent the consciousness is not there. Or, full consciousness is absent when one of them is absent. If you say one of them is conscious, in the absence of that, you are gone. If you say collectively conscious, one absent, to that extent you are reduced consciousness. Is that so? So, it is in both the ways. And if you say, no, each one of them are independently conscious, then being conscious, they go on a different way. Eyes want to go in this direction, my nose want to go in this direction, third. So it's like each one horse, if it's not controlled by one, each horse want to go in a different place. So where do you go? They pull you in all directions. So neither it can be one of them is a conscious, the wrong. Collectively conscious, wrong. All of them equally conscious each other, no, that is also wrong. There are so many such arguments are given. Therefore, so the unconscious senses cannot be Atman. The Vedic story of the quarrel of the senses refers to the presiding deity of the senses. There is something else other than the senses which are presiding over all of them. In the Upanishad, therefore, they point it out as prana. Therefore, in the next two verse, prano jagrati suptepi jagati prano jagarti suptepi pranashreshtatikam shrutam kosha pranamaya samyak vistarena prapanchitah prano jagarti suptepi pranashreshtatikam shrutam kosha pranamaya samyak vistarena prapanchitah. Supte api, even in the state of sleep, pranaha jagarti. Prana still goes on. Don't say that I'm sleeping, therefore I stopped breathing. No, that doesn't happen, thank God. Otherwise, think about it. Nobody will go to sleep. Swamiji, I don't want to sleep. Why? Because they'll stop breathing. That doesn't happen. Supte api pranaha jagarti. Therefore, pranaha shreshtaha. Among all the senses, prana is shreshta. Shreshthadikam shrutam. Pranasya shreshta. Shreshta means shreshtatvam. The prominence is already heard in the Shruti. So it is said in the Brihadaranya Upanishad, prano hi idam sarvam utpadayati. Prano hi idam sarvam utpadayati. It is said in Brihadaranya Upanishad that prana alone is creating all the activities of the senses. So it is said there. Also in the Chandogya Upanishad, naiva vacho na chakshumchi, navai vacho na chakshumchi, itya chakshate, pranaha iti achakshate, ityeva achakshate, prano hi eva etani sarvani bhavati. It is said in Chandogya Upanishad, prana alone is making all these possible activities of the senses. Therefore, not the eyes, not the speech, not any one of the sense organs are capable of doing the activities without the presence of prana. Therefore, pranamaya koshaha, second line, pranamaya koshaha samyak vistarena prapanchitaha. Samyak very well, vistarena elaborately, prapanchitaha is described what? Pranamaya koshaha shreshthadikam. It is the Sreshtata of the Pranamaya Kosha has been established in the Upanishads very clearly. Therefore, Shruti is quoted by him, saying that Prakadaranya says that, Chandogya Upanishad says that, Prashna Upanishad says that, Taittiriya Upanishad says that. So here, Shruti also says very clearly this way, all of them, all the sense organs have, because it is said that each one of them started to fight. The story that goes, when each one of them felt that without me, you fellows cannot remain. So first of all, I said, I'm not going, I'm quitting. Went away. Everybody was there. When came back, everybody was still there. Each one of them went out and came back, they're still there. So they were wondering who it could be. Then Prana said, let me go out. As even he was about to, hey, don't go, we are lost. We are not able to survive. Stay. Now you understand. I am the one because of whom all of you are able to do. So Pranasya Sreshtata is already proven in the Upanishad. The next guy comes. You people are unnecessarily fighting about all this thing. Mana eva atma. See, this is different from what is seen in the Vedanta Chodamani. There it is a different way it is argued by Shankaracharya. Here, Madhuswami, see, again, Vidyaranya brings in a different way of treating the subject matter. Mana atmedi manyante upasana parajanaha pranasya bhoktruta spashta bhoktrutvam manasastataha mana atmedi manyante upasana parajanaha pranasya bhoktruta sprashta bhoktrutvam manasastataha. Upasana parajanaha. Upasana eva param ayanam iti ye janaha manyante te. Those people who are considered upasana as the supreme engagement in this world that is to be done day in and day out, engage in various kinds of worship, mainly to keep the mind, or considering the mind as the most important, aspect of one's own being, and mind is the Atma. Because all the various rituals, if you look at it, all that which are prescribed to us, keeping that mental purity, mind has to be gaining punya, because it is the mind that goes and experiences the various worlds. Swargadi. When the mind is impure, then one goes to Naraka. Therefore, their focus is on what? Keeping the mind divine, keeping the mind pure, keeping the mind engaged in devotion, keeping the mind in rituals, keeping the mind chanting the name of the Lord. Upasana parajanaha manyante. They think what? Mana atma. In the Western world, we call it a soul. We should understand the difference between soul and the self. Where Vedanta talks about self as that which is immutable, immortal, unchanging, and not transient. Whereas soul, on the other hand, is subtle body, which is subject to birth and death, moving from one body to another, subject to raga dvesha, subject to vasana, subject to experience of joy, sorrow, etc. So that is how Vedanta treats this mind or intellect. Whereas in the path of Upasana, they do not have the self as the thing. Mind is the one. And if you look at the Semitic religious concepts, so they say that once you are dead, your mind is still there. And that is what is going to be experiencing liberation at the judgment time. The Christ or the Father in the heaven or whoever, they will come and wake you up from your slumber where you are still, body is gone, but you are there. And that you will be woken up to go to the paradise or whatever they say. So, mind is the Atman. They understand one thing, their concept of Atman is not a universal oneness. Individually, there is mind, and that mind is self. Mind is the Atman. Atman in the sense, mind is the person. And even as the physical body is dead, that person is still there. And their idea of liberation is going to heaven. Mind goes to heaven, which is soul, basically. So, here, Mana Atma idi manyante upasana para janaha. Why it is so? Why? What is your hetu? What is your logic? Here it is. Pranasya abhoktruda spashta. Prana does not experience anything. Joys and sorrows are not experienced by prana. It's experienced by mind. Right? Joy or sorrow, it's not the prana that experiences. It's not even the senses. Eyes are not enjoying the beauty. Nose is not enjoying the smell. Tongue is not enjoying the taste. See, eyes are not enjoying this music. It is mind, or not even the prana, which is making all of them function. It is a mind which is wanting them to engage. So who is the bhokta? Bhoktrutvam manaha, manasaha tataha, tasmat. Tasmat bhoktrutvam manasaha eva. Bhokta, or the experiencer of everything in this world, is none other than the mind. Not the pranas, not the senses, not the body. Therefore, mana eva atma. Because of whom alone everything else is experienced. So this way, mind is the Atman is established here. Now, so we see in the explanation given in the notes there, prana is said to be entering into the body, and then when the death takes place, prana goes away. That means what? That which is coming in and going cannot be the Atman. Because Atman, when you say, it is all should be always there. It coming in and getting out. How can that be the Atman then? That is one reason. And without a food, my prana was going out. If somebody says, that is to show that there is a love for prana and not for the self. And I know that movement of prana, therefore I am different from that. Prana comes and prana goes. Prana enters into the body to become alive. Prana disappears and therefore it is dead. So therefore, that which is coming and going subject to movement cannot be the eternal self. This is the argument. Also, that prana is not the experiencer. That is the yukti or the logic that is true. Now, what is the Shruti Praman for this? Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho shruto manomaya koshaha tena tenatmeritam manah. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho shruto manomaya koshaha tenatmeritam manah. From Amritabindu Upanishad, this is a very famous statement. First verse itself in Amritabindu Upanishad, second verse actually. Eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Bandhaya vishayasaktam moksham nirvishayam smrutam. This is the second line. But here the second line is different. Quoting that Amritabindu Upanishad, he says, mind alone is the cause for bondage and liberation. That is quoted by the person who argues here, saying that Shruti Praman is there. Why? Because mind alone is the cause for both bondage and liberation. In other words, bondage and liberation are not different from mind. Meaning, mind decides whether to be liberated or to be bound. So it has the independent ability to decide on itself whether you want to be liberated or to be bound. Therefore, other than mind, there is nothing else. If you say something else decides for the mind, then we can say that is Atman. Its mind itself is deciding it. That means there is nothing above it. And what is the cause of the bondage? Vishayasaktam manaha bandhana karanam. Vishaya virakta manaha mokshasya karanam. Mokshasya hetuhu vishaya anasakti. Vishayasakti bandhanasya hetuhu. Attachment to objects is cause of the bondage. Detachment from the objects is the cause of the liberation. Now again, we have to understand, as Vedantin, we understand what? Not the Vishaya Anasakti, Vishayeshu Icharahityam. It is not Vishaya Virakti, Vishayeshu Icha Virakti. Vishayeshu Icha Bandhanakara. Na Vishayaha Bandhanakara. Objects or even by themselves, they are not cause of the bondage. Asakti. What asakti? Icha. So, Vishayeshu Icha Yasya Asti, one who has desire for the object because they are necessary for me, that is the bondage. Therefore, it is the thought of objects. Thinking that they are the cause of my joy is the bondage. Not thinking that the Vishayas are cause of my happiness is liberation. This is the Vedantin clearly would know. But then here, not taking that subtle aspect into account, merely he puts mind by itself is cause of bondage and liberation. So mind decides independently. So manomaya koshaha shrutaha. This is how we have heard in the Shruti also. What? Tenatme iti iritam manaha. In Taittiriya Upanishad it is said. What it said? Anyontara atma manomaya. Only that portion he takes. Pranamaya kosha is explained. After that, Anyontara atma manomaya. Pranasya anyontara atma manomaya. The very Atman of the prana is mind. Then you say, after that what? After that I never attended the class. So my conclusion is, Manaha Atma. Are next class what we said? Anyontara Atma, then Vijnanamaya. Then the mind. Manasaha Anyontara Atma Vijnanamaya. That I didn't attend. So therefore I never know about that. So Shrutaha, it is heard what? Manomaya Koshaha. We have heard about the Manomaya Kosha is, therefore, Atma iti iritam. That is Manaha Atma iti iritam. Iritam, Uktam, spoken by the Shruti, that mind is the Atman. So this way, now the other guy starts. See, you have not attended the class does not mean whatever you say is the final. You read only one part of the Taittiriya Upanishad. Then you finish it fully. So sometimes when we say something, in the context, they'll hold that. You said it. Did you hear it fully? You were hearing fully only one aspect of it you heard. So that is not right. So now, the next one who starts, no, you are not right. Mind is not the Atman. Mind is not the self. Why? Mind acts according to Somebody else's instruction. Indriyani parandyahu indriyebhya param manah manasastu para buddhihi buddhiratma mahan paraha. In Gita also it is said, Indriyebhya param manah manasastu para buddhihi yo buddhe paradastu saha buddhe parataha tu saha atma. So, in the third chapter, here, the Vijnanamaya Kosha is taken as something which is other than and greater than mind. Vijnanamatmeti paraha. Sorry. Vijnanamatmeti pare. Ahu Shanikavadinaha. Yato Vijnanamulatvam. Manaso gamyate sputam. Vijnanamatmeti pare ahu kshanikavadinah yato vijnanamulatvam manaso gamyate sputam. Pare, somebody else, Vijnanamatma iti ahu. Others who are there in the field of philosophy speak about Vijnanamaya Kosha is Atman. In this way they say Ahuhu. Who are those? Kshanikavadinaha. A school of philosophy of Buddhism, a Buddhist school of philosophy who are called Kshanikavadin. Vada means argument, viewpoint. Kshanikavadin means those who argue that states of consciousness are constantly moving. With every thought, there is a conscious appearance. We'll see that a little elaborately. So every thought is a state of consciousness. And that state of consciousness is different from the mind. So Vijnanam Atma idi pare ahuhu Shanikavadinaha. Why they say that? Yataha, since, Yasmat, Manasaha Vijnana Moolatvam. Manasaha Moolatvam Vijnanam. The basis or the cause of the mind is Vijnanamaya. Sputam Gamyate. It is very clear. According to them, it's very clear that mind is controlled by, or mind has its root in buddhi, according to Shanikavadin, which is Vedanta to some extent accept a certain part of their argument. How? We all know Sankalpa Vikalpatmakam Manaha. Mind is of the nature of Sankalpa and Vikalpa. A thought comes and it has certain desire to engage in that particular thought, but at some point of time it itself doubts that very thought and lets it go. For example, if when we decide on something, it is buddhi. When we don't act upon what we decide, it is mind. It is as simple as that. So when we, January 1st, it's coming up. From January 1st onwards, I'm going to do exercise. Decided. Every day, 20 minutes, I have to do my workout, and 20 minutes, I'll go for a walk. So this is I have to do. I'm getting old, you see. I decided. January 1st. Yesterday, I had a very late night, I had a party. I think January 1st is not the right time to start. It is Dakshinayan still. Uttarayan starts on the 14th or 15th of January. It start on 15th January. So another 2 weeks gone. So who decided? Buddhi. Who decided not to do? Mind. And Buddhi listens to it. That's a problem here. चलो भाई ठीक है, कह 14 से 15 से करो. अच्छा, उत्तरायण शुरू होगा. I think the winter is not the right time to start all these things. Who gets up too early in the morning in the winter? And it's I'm also getting old. I get cold also. Air is not there. I get more cold. And it is not funny. It will be funny walking with a monkey cap on the road. So, I think after, spring, daylight saving. No, not daylight saving. Spring, after this spring starts, I will spring on this. I'll wait till March. So March comes. There's some other reason it'll give. It'll go on. So, even as the mind is, even as the, action or the decision taken by the intellect, the mind, even as supposed to follow what the intellect says, but there is a certain amount of influence of the mind also there, because it is connected to the senses, connected to the emotions, connected to the feeling, connected to the body. It has a greater, place of operation. But the explanation that will be given now is, how do you distinguish between buddhi and mind? So that is going to be taken up here. We'll see here. Aham vrittiridam vrittihi antakarana ityantakaranam dvida Vijnanam syadaham vrittihi idam vrittirmano bhavet aham vrittiridam vrittihi ityantakaranam dvita Vijnanam syadaham vrittihi idam vrittirmano bhavet. Again, Vidyaranya puts his own logic into this point as argument of the Shanikavadi. Antakaranam dvita bhavati. Antakaranam is divided into two parts, in the form of aham vritti and idam vritti. Aham vritti, I thought, aham pratyaya, and idam pratyaya. Vritti or thought is of two kinds. One is called idam, another is called aham. What is the idam vritti? Let us understand that. Bahya vishaya vritti, idam vritti. Indriya janitya bahya vrittihi, bahya vishaya vrittihi, idam vritti. So when I see a flower, when I see a tree, or when I hear a sound, or I smell a flower or some fragrance, or I taste something, I come to have a vritti, a thought about that particular object which is experienced. It's a flower, or a smell, or a sound, or a taste, something, or what I see. So, idam vritti is bahya vishaya vritti. What is that usually? Indriya janitam. It's born out of some of the sense organs, one or more of sense organs. This is called idam vritti. Aham vritti is that which make me recognize as I know, which sheds the light on that vritti. In other words, idam vrittehe sakshi. It is the witness of the idam vritti. It is that which actually judges the idam vritti. It is said that aham vritti is a sakshi, aham vrittehe vishayam idam vritti. Idam vrittehe vishayam bahya vishayaha. External object is the object of idam vritti. And idam vritti is the object of aham vritti. A thought has arisen based upon an object perceived. The thought becomes the witness to this. I know. When the object of the thought, that subject, the particular object which is there when it's perceived, that the flower thought arises. This is flower. So aham vritti is only looking at the idam, not the outside object. In other words, when I look at a flower and close my eyes, the thought of the flower is already in my mind. Intellect knows this is a thought, this is a flower, even though eyes are closed. Eyes has already done that work of what? Bringing the vritti, creating the vritti. So idam vritti takes place in the mind. The eyes are closed. The thought is there still. So aham vritti is come to illumine this and say, this is flower. So, according to Buddha, okay, this is according to Kshanika Vikshanavadin. Okay, that you understand that. How Vedanta treats this, we'll see a little later. So, Vijnanam syad aham vrittihi idam vritti manaha. So, aham vritti is buddhi, idam vritti is mind. So, mind is that which is in the form of thoughts about objects presented to the senses. Whereas, aham vritti is that which is the witness to all the thoughts arising in the mind. Either it can be born out of sense organs perceiving it and bringing it, or on its own it creates something. Sometimes when you are not seeing anything, when the mind is creating its own thoughts, that also is witnessed, perceived, known, understood, felt. This way, these two are distinguished. We'll see more of it in the next class. It's a beautiful analysis, and slowly you will unfold what is buddhi, what is mind, how buddhi and mind cannot be Atman. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Kasyat Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha.